Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, life just isn't working out the way you planned? Maybe you've done everything right, you've worked hard, prayed, and planned ahead, but things are still falling apart. Maybe you're waiting for an answer, for healing, for a breakthrough, but all you feel is silence. We all want to trust God, but let's be honest, letting go is hard. It's scary to give up control when we don't know what's going to happen next. But here's the truth. When we let go and surrender to God, we step into peace, strength, and a future that's far greater than what we could create on our own. So how do we do it? How do we let go and trust God completely? Let me take you back to a story from the Bible, one that shows us the struggle of control, surrender, and the power of truly trusting God. The story of Jacob wrestling with God. Jacob had spent most of his life trying to control everything. He tricked his older brother Esau into giving him his birthright. He deceived his father into giving him the blessing meant for his brother. He ran away, worked for years, and built his own success. But despite all his efforts, his past still caught up with him. Now Jacob was returning home after years of running, and he was terrified. Why? Because Esau, the brother he had deceived, was coming to meet him, and Jacob didn't know if Esau would forgive him or kill him. For the first time, Jacob had no tricks, no backup plan, no escape route. He was out of options. And then something incredible happened. The Bible says that night, a man came and wrestled with Jacob until dawn. At first, Jacob probably thought it was an enemy attack. But as the fight went on, he realized this wasn't an ordinary man. Jacob was wrestling with God. All night they wrestled. And when the sun was about to rise, God touched Jacob's hip, and instantly his strength left him. He collapsed, defeated. At that moment, Jacob had a choice. Would he keep fighting, or would he surrender? And instead of wrestling, Jacob held on and said, "I won't let go until you bless me." That's when God changed everything. God looked at Jacob and said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Genesis 32:28. Jacob walked away that morning with a new name, a new identity, and a new purpose. But he also walked with a limp, a reminder that trusting God sometimes means surrendering our own strength. And that's exactly what we need to learn today. What does this mean for us? Maybe you're not physically wrestling with God, but maybe you're wrestling with fear about the future, worry about your finances, a broken relationship, or the need to be in control. So how do we let go like Jacob did? How do we stop wrestling with God and start trusting Him completely? Before we proceed, kindly hit that subscribe button and like the video. This will help us to reach out to more people in need of this message. Now let's proceed. 1. Recognize that you're not in control. Most of us love control. We want to know what's going to happen next. We want security, stability, and clear answers. But the truth is, we are not in control. The Bible says in Proverbs 3:5-6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." Letting go doesn't mean we stop making decisions. It means we surrender the outcome to God. Think of it like being on a plane. You don't have to fly the plane, you just have to trust the pilot. 2. Release your worries to God. Jesus said in Matthew 6:27, "Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life?" Worry doesn't fix anything. It only steals your peace. A simple way to practice surrender is through prayer. Try saying, "God, I don't know what's next, but I trust you. I release my fears, my plans, and my struggles into your hands. Lead me." 3. Take small steps of faith. Trusting God doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking one small step at a time, even when you don't see the whole picture. Think about Peter walking on water. When Jesus called him, he had to step out of the boat first. He didn't know if he'd sink or stand, but he moved in faith. Sometimes God won't show us the whole plan because He wants us to trust Him step by step. 4. Remember God's faithfulness. When you're struggling to trust God, look back at all the times He's been faithful before. Maybe He provided for you when you didn't know how you'd pay the bills. Maybe He healed a relationship you thought was broken forever. Maybe He gave you peace in a storm you thought would destroy you. God has been faithful before, and He will be faithful again. Remember, letting go isn't about giving up. It's about giving over. When we release our grip, we find peace. When we stop wrestling, we find rest. And when we truly trust, we find freedom. So today, ask yourself, what are you holding on to that God is asking you to release? Whatever it is, let go. trust that God's plan is greater than yours. And remember, He's got you.